If there's a wrong way to do it, a wrong way to play it, nobody does it like me. If there's a wrong way to do it, a right way to screw it up, nobody does it like me. I've got a big loud mouth, I'm always talking absently. If you want intact manners, better stay away from me. If there's a wrong way to keep it cool, a right way to be a fool, nobody does it like me. If there's a wrong bell, I'd ring it, a wrong note, I'd sing it, nobody does it like me. If there's a problem, I duck it, I don't solve it, I just fuck it up, nobody does it like me. My eyes are always crossed and I'm going slightly deaf. I'm nearly almost toothless, only got the back ones left. If they want me to do my thing, hands off my ring-a-ding, nobody does it like me. Nobody does it, no, nobody does it. Nobody does it like me. Nobody does it like me. No, you know, when I was younger, I remember when I was younger, it was before the war. You remember the war, it was in all the papers. And I remember... No, really. My little brother and I, we used to go to school, we were always in trouble. One day, my little brother, he put his hand up, which is a dirty habit, and he put his hand up. He said, Miss, us have no pencils. She said, pardon? He said, us have no pencils. She said, we have no pencils. I have no pencils. They have no pencils. He said, well, who's got all the bloody pencils? And my teacher was full of wind. You're kidding. No. This'll kill you. She was full of wind. No, really. And one day she was giving us a lesson, you see, and she let this enormous burp. And she tried to blame it on my brother. She said, you stop that. He said, I'll try, miss. Which way did it go? Hey? Oh, I cleaned that one up well. So, she said to us, I'm laughing because I know what's coming. No, she said to us one day, she said, now, I want you all to give me a sentence with the word catastrophe in, see? Give me a word, a sentence, see? Catastrophe. So one little boy, you always get a little smart one, don't you, in the class, you know, with the glasses and a high forehead, very intelligent. And we had one in the class called Bernard, he was called, Bernard. He said, well, miss, if an ocean liner sinks in the middle of the ocean and all the people are drowned, it is what is known as a catastrophe. She said, very good, Bernard, sit. Then a little girl stood up called Hillary. There's a Hillary in every class. You know, Hillary. Usually with all ringlets like that, you know. And you get around the back of the bike shed and ring-a-ding-ding. No, Hillary stood up and said, well, miss, if a plane crashes into the side of a mountain, it is what is known as a catastrophe. So my little brother got up, big mouth, he got up, he said, well, miss, he said, I've got a 17-year-old sister, and every month she puts a ring round one of the dates on the calendar. And this month there isn't one, and in our house, that's a catastrophe. Hi. Do you know, I was away for 2 years, and when I came home, my wife had a 3-month-old baby. And I said, what's he called? And she said, Benny. I said, where did he come from? She said, heaven. And you know, every time I ask my wife, she says, Benny's from heaven. Her face goes white, but still she says, little Benny's from heaven. I asked the friendly neighbors all town. If they remember Benny come falling down. But I must admit, because it's true, he's a cute little laddie. But what I know about the birds and the bees, kids have gotta have daddies. And every time I look at Benny, it's so very plain to see that Ben is from heaven and not from me.
A neighbour of mine got 9 kids. You joking? No. 9 kids he's got. And they went to the doctor the other day. And the doctor examined her, see, and he said, how many kids have you got? She said, I've got 9. He said, you'll have to take orange juice when you go to bed at night. She said, before or after? He said, instead of. He said, because if you any more children, it'll kill you. She said, well, you better talk to him. He's sex mad, him. So he brings her husband in. He said, now listen. He said, I've had a word with the wife. He said, you've got 9 children. You've been a very naughty boy. He said, if she has any more, it'll kill her. He said, well, what can I do? He said, well, control it. He said, I can't. He said, well, you'll have to sleep separate then. So they did. They went home and she started sleeping upstairs and he was sleeping downstairs. They were doing fantastic for 3 weeks. One night, he couldn't stand it any longer. Gets out of bed, starts walking upstairs, he meets her coming down. He said, where are you going? She said, I don't want to live anymore. He says, that's funny, I was just coming to kill you.
Remember me, oh, remember me. Remember for the rest of your life. Oh, when I was a young boy and drove my mother mad, I met a maiden in the wood and she looked very sad. Well, you really couldn't blame her for being in such a state. You'd think that she'd been born just 10 years too late. Remember me, oh, remember me. Remember for the rest of your life. Her face was flat and ugly, and that I can't explain. You'd think that she'd been trampled on by ye old mule train. Her teeth were green and yellow, and she'd worn as black as jet. If she'd have had a red one, she'd have had a snooker set. Remember me, oh, remember me. Remember for the rest of your life. She was so bow-legged, of that there was no doubt. And as she walked along the street, the kids would laugh and shout. To make things more embarrassing, a sister Annie Mae was so knock-kneed that when they were together they spelt okay. Remember me, oh, remember me. Remember for the rest of your life. Her eyes were green and yellow, and her nose was shiny red. Her tiny little ears were on the same side of her head. Her hair was long and bushy, and it hung like lumps of string. And if you looked at her sideways, you'd say, ah, that's the thing. Remember me, oh, remember were bulging all over from head to toe. I followed one up the back of her leg to see where it did go. She went to a fancy dress one night and got such great applause. She won first prize as a road map, stood there in her daggy drawers. Remember me, oh remember me, remember for the rest of your life. Keep an eye out for her, you may see her one day. And if you do, be sure that you keep out of her way. 'Cause I should know the trouble she's caused, the worry and the strife. Because this girl I speak of is now my bloody wife. Remember me, oh remember me, remember for the
I'm going to tell you a little story right now. This is a little story, and it is all set to music. Gracias. That is Spanish, by the way, for thank you. As the man said to the hula hula girl. Gracias. My young brother Joey and his pal Chloe were eating green apples one day when they both made a dive for the same place at once. But Chloe got there first, so they say. With his tummy vibrating, little Joey stood waiting, then let out an awful roar. Chloe! Chloe! Please unlock the door. I've gotta go where you are. I can't wait no more. I've gotta go where you are. I gave you my big green apple. You know that's true. So come on, Chloe, be a pal and let me in there too. I'll give you my bike if you let me go where you are. I'll give you my teddy bear, my chocolate bar. Don't let nothing bind you. Pull that chain behind you. Nature's just called on me. I don't have to go where you are. Thank you. Do you know, I'm sure you know, Jewish people have a beautiful sense of humor. They really do. Jewish people have a gorgeous sense of humor. And true, I have a very dear friend, an elderly lady who went to the doctor's a few weeks ago, and she walked into the doctor. She said, "Doctor, I got to tell you." She said, "The second time my husband and I make love, he sweats how you wouldn't believe. He sweats." He says, "How old are you?" She said, "I'm 69. He says, 60. How old's your husband? She said, "He's 71. He said, "And the second time you make love, he sweats?" She said, "Yeah. In July, he's okay, but in December, he sweats like you wouldn't believe." Another guy went into the doctor's. The doctor said, "Look," he said, "I've got good news and bad news." He said, "Well, give me the bad news first." He said, "You're a puff." He said, what's the good news? He said, I love you. But the Irish have a good sense of humour, don't they? They really do. I found out, you know, that the grass is really greener in Ireland, and that's because they're all in England walking on our bloody grass. Talking about Ireland, we would like to do a little Irish song right now for you now, accompanied by the leprechaun over there on the piano. Thank you very much. Oh, I went last week to see the tattooed lady, and after the show she begged of me to stay. And she said if I would pay another $1, she'd let me have a look at Galway Bay. So I stayed behind and paid another $1. It was a real good buck's worth, I must say, for she had the Rose of Tralee in Technicolor, but I couldn't take my eyes off Galway Bay. Then she let me have a look at Lake Killarney, and Danny Boy was not so far away, and her mountains of Mourne, they really looked a picture, but none of them could touch her Galway Bay. She had pictures of the sweepstake and the derby. To kiss them all would take you half a day. So I kissed her Blarney Stone and gently pleaded to have just one last look at Galway Bay. So if ever this young lady comes round your town, she's bound to visit you, so don't delay. And no matter what the price is that she asks you, it's worth it for a look at Galway Bay. Windbags, camels with the hump, fat girls, thin girls, some a little plump, slave girls sold here 50 bob a lump. The old bazaar in Cairo, brandy, shandy, beer without a froth, races, laces, candle for the moth. Bet you'd look a dolly in an old loincloth in the old bazaar in Cairo. You can buy most anything, thimbles, fat cows, little bit of string. You can purchase anything you wish, a clock, a dish, and something for your Auntie Fanny. Harem, scare 'em, what do you think of that? Fanny striptease, dancing on the mat. Oompa, oompa, that's enough of that in the old bazaar in Cairo. Hamadam, Ramadam, everything in style. Genuine Bedouin carpet with a pile. Funny little odds and ends floating down the Nile in the old bazaar in Cairo. You can buy most anything. Cheap size sand pies, what's without a spring? You can buy a pomegranate too, a water bag, a little bit of hokey pokey, asmax, pontifex, what a strange affair. Dark girls, fair girls, some with ginger hair. The rest of this is funny, but the censor cut it there in the old bazaar in Cairo. Any ladies from out of town? Any ladies from out of town? Yeah. Where are you from, darling?
Perth.
Perth? From Perth? Really? Yeah. This is perfect. Just excuse me, talk amongst yourself. I've got to tell you this. There was an article in the Sunday paper a week last Sunday, really, true, and it said that 90% of the women in Perth are unfaithful to the husbands. And to the other 10%, the Pope wrote a letter. Do you know what was in that letter? You didn't get one. Oh, I see. True that. I gotta tell you, kids are funny, aren't they? Two little girls talking about that big, two little girls talking. And one said, how old do you think our schoolmistress is? She said, I don't know, but I know how we can find out. She said, how? She said, by looking in her knickers. She said, how would we find out by looking in her knickers? She said, well, in mine, it says 3 to 5 years. I wouldn't have your mind for $1,000. I was passing a park last week. You're kidding? No, I'm not. Listen to this. Passing this park, and a little girl comes out about that big, and she's fastening all her blouse. It's only about that tall. And then a little boy came walking out, pulling his trousers up. I said, what's the game? He said, I don't know what you call it, mister, but cricket and footy have had it from now on.
Up the West End, that's the best end where the nightclubs thrive. Down into a dive you go. There's a jazz queen, she's a has-been, Lord knows what. Every night she's there on a show. She dances underneath a magic spell. She's full of charm, gin and scotch as well. She's 66 but looks 16. Her friends don't know and now her face is clean. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. See her glide around the floor and glide around into the pub next door. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She looks swell in the line, a queen all the time. You get your money's worth. You'd say by day it's the second time on earth. She waltzes in the West End shops and waltzes out again between two cops. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She's a peach, but understand, she's called a peach because she's always canned. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. When she's dressed, she's like Mae West. She wears 2 saucepan lids upon her chest. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She looks swell in the line, the queen all the time. You get your money's worth. By day you'd say it's the second time on earth. Every morning at the break of day, they call for the empties and they cart away. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen.
I went to the movies last week. Went to the movie. And I get up to the pay box, and you know, as a rule, there's a lady there, gives you the ticket. Wasn't a lady. Fella. He said, where would you like to go, dear? Do you want to go up or down? I said, I'll go down. I go inside, open the door, pitch black, couldn't see a thing. Wasn't an usherette, came up. Fella. He said, follow me, dear. We went down the aisle, he sat me down. When the lights went up and they came around with the tray, with the ice cream. Wasn't a woman. Fella. Said, ice cream. No, I only help them when they're busy. No. Fruit drinks, get your nuts off me. I can't stand. I came out. I went running right out. I saw a policeman. I said, you want to go in that place? It's full of them. He said, I know, I've had my suspicions for a long time. Lynn, where have you been all my life?
Lynn, don't you think it's a sin to invite me here when your mother's not at home? To keep an eye on you, your sister's on the phone. You can rely on her to leave us all alone, loving the night away. I don't know what to say, oh Lynn. You know I shouldn't come in to your lovely little room. I said, Lynn, don't give me that gin. I must be going soon, 'cause you know what they say about the combination. It can lead the boy astray and cause his ruination. I might go all the way, I've never been there before. Why are you locking the door? Hey, Lynn, something's tickling my chin. Hey, Lynn, I don't think it's the gin. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Oh no, there's only me and you. Oh no, hey, don't take off his shoe. Now you've done it, look at that. Lynn, where have you been all my life? Lynn, if your mother comes in, there'll be strife, unless in order to prevent her from carrying on, I will convince her my intentions entirely honourable. I won't forget to mention I've never been there before. What's that knock on the door? Hey Lynn, where have you been? Lynn, what if your mother comes in? Get off. Hey, get off. Hey, stop it. Stop it, stop it. Oh. Get off. Now. This Irishman walking down the street, pig under his arm. A man said, where did you get that? The pig said, I won him in a raffle. The same Irishman goes in a pizza parlour. Really, yeah, listen. He goes in a pizza parlour, orders a pizza, and the guy said, do you want it sliced into 6 or 4? He said, you better make it 4. I couldn't eat 6. Right, now... No, you can always have a laugh in a pub. Really? Of course you can. I was in a pub the other night, see, and I'm stood there, and a guy comes in, see, he said, I'll have a large beer, please. One for him, and him. So the barman, 9 beers. There, on the bar. And he drank the beer. The barman said, that would be $4.80. He said, I haven't got any money. The barman picked him up, pow! And he threw him in the street. About 3 minutes later, he came staggering back in, blood all down his face. He said, could I have a large beer, please? One for him, and him. And no, you better not have one. You get bad-tempered after the first. Oh, then another guy walked in, picked up a bottle off the bar and smashed it over another guy's head. He went flat on the floor. Out, like that. Picked himself up. He said, did you do that on purpose or were you joking? He said, I did it on purpose. He said, it's a good job because I don't like jokes like that. There was a young lady of Leeds who swallowed a packet of seeds. Blades of grass grew ever so fast. That was a cute little rhyme. Sing us another one, do. There was an old man of Bengal who grew to be ever so tall. Each girl he took out would scream and would shout. That was a cute little rhyme. Sing us another one, do. There was was an old lady of Chester who called on a vicar that blessed her. He said that he should and he would if he could. That was a cute little rhyme. Sing us another one, do. There was a young man of Madras whose tummy was covered in grass. His legs were so hairy that any young fairy. That was a cute little rhyme. Sing us another one, do. There was a young man of St. Paul's who did a cute trick in the hall. His favorite trick was to stand on a stick. That was a cute little rhyme. Sing us another one, just like the other one. Sing us another one,
I got to tell you, just before I go, no, because I have another job after this in January, but I got to tell you this. Two mates of mine live down my street, and they're very keen fishermen, you see, very keen fishermen. And one is always coming home with buckets and buckets of fish, and the other one never catches a thing. So they were having a chat the other day, and the first guy said, how is it we go fishing, we go in the same part of the sea, see, and he says, you come back with buckets of fish, and I come back with nothing. He said, well, the secret, see, the secret. He said, when I wake up in the morning, if my wife is sleeping on her left side, I fish out of the left-hand side of the boat. And they catch them all in the bucket. And he said, if I wake up in the morning and my wife is sleeping on her right side, I fish out of the right-hand side of the boat, see? And so his mate said, but what if your wife is sleeping on her back when you wake up in the morning? He said, I don't go bloody fishing. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been very sweet, and I would just like to leave you with a little message, and that is, whether you're rich or poor, it's nice to have money. Whether you're pretty or ugly, it's nice to have a face. And whether you're a man or a woman, it's nice. Boom.
You need hands to hold someone you care for. You need hands to show that you're sincere. When you think nobody wants to know you, you need hands to brush away each tear. When you hold a brand new baby, you need tender hands to guide him on their way. You need hands to thank the Lord for living and for giving us this day. You need hands when you gotta sing a song like Charleston. Shirley Bassey, well, she needs gold fingers too. You need hands when you have to wash the dishes. And you need hands when you tell the foreman what to do. You need hands to show the world